give you the most accurate placement in the forecast. And let's start with Pluto in Capricorn, here since 2008, and will be here until 2023. And this is in your 8th house. Now with Pluto here, Pluto is more comfortable in the 8th house, as it's also the modern ruler of Scorpio that naturally rules the 8th house. But there can be themes of death in this combination here, in connections to inheritances. Now this is a long transit, of course, and Pluto here usually transforms this area of life throughout the transit. It is a long transit since 2008. In some cases, this can indicate an actual birth of some kind, like a baby, or a birth of some relationship or something in particular in regards to the deeper things of life. There can be more connections in regards to dealings with business regarding to death, inheritance, or some very significant, powerful person having an effect on you or having power over you, or having some kind of power struggles in regards to finances, mutual resources, shared resources, and so forth. There can be deep emotional traumas coming up and being triggered in regards to healing during this time from the past. You can be more inquisitive about the meaning of life, and you want to get down to the truth of all of your questions. Someone in regards to death, this can be an actual person, or it can be just a person that's the effect of their death had a very powerful effect on you somehow, changes you permanently in some way. And sometimes this can indicate major changes in shared resources with Pluto here. This is not a time where you want to go into debt or be under someone else's control financially, because this can also bring in abuse in this case, in traumatic events. This is a time where you want to play by the rules. There can be a lot of underhanded activity or secrets at this time, or really deep sexual transformations and intimacy, vulnerabilities coming up at this time. This can be a transit that is quite transforming permanently on very deep levels, emotionally as well. And then Neptune will be in Pisces. It has been here since 2011 until 2025 in your 10th house. And Neptune here can bring in confusion in regards to your path of life. It can be disorienting on all levels because it's angular, and it can affect many choices for you in regards to home, career, your sense of self, your direction in life, your relationships, and so forth. It's also important to look at whether you are living a lie, whether you are pretending to be happy when you are not, whether this is in your career or as in your committed relationships or in regards to your responsibilities and so forth. There can also be deception from others that you need to deal with at this time. There can be opposition from other people. You can feel like people are coming against you and preventing you from getting ahead. Maybe someone painted a picture of you that's not true. Or maybe what you are doing for a living is somewhat deceiving of who you really are. And you're starting to ask questions about whether this is really fulfilling as a life purpose for you. And finding out what you want, wanting to live a life with more meaning, and changing your attitude about your life path. In some cases, It's important to remember that you are not what you do. You can have your ego wrapped up in what you do for a living, or your status in life, or who you're married to. And you can feel like you need validation from other people, and maybe you're not getting the validation you really feel that you need. Or maybe you're starting to realize that you don't need to be validated by others in order to feel like you are living a fulfilling life. But this is a good transit that favors social work or helping others with self-sabotaging habits. You want to also address self-sabotaging habits with this transit yourself, especially in regards to career and life direction, laziness, or apathy in this area. You can help others a lot spiritually with spiritual work, and the deeper dimensions of life can be addressed here. It's also important to realize that this can also sometimes indicate job directions in connection with music or film or some kind of celebrity or some kind of creative outlet of some kind during this time. And then Uranus will be in Taurus as of 2018 until 2026. And this is in your 12th house. And in this area, we can have sudden events connected to the past, appear compulsive behaviors on a subconscious level that control you in some way, can stick out its head. This transit can involve institutions, separations, hospitalization, or working in a hospital, or working in faraway places, or just places where you're away from others, seclusion of some kind, prison. This can also bring in sudden revelations or secrets of or hidden things being revealed. The upsets here can mainly be usually from things that you're unaware of. Suppressed feelings or memories or issues from the past can come up for you to deal with. It can feel like there are hidden enemies working against you at this time, like you're being attacked on a spiritual level, or there's just people working against you. This is important to really work on these issues while Uranus is here, as it's bringing these things up in order for you to transmute and heal these areas of your life, because sometimes these subconscious patterns that come up can trip us up and self-sabotage us in a sense that we do things and other people sort of have to work around it, and then it feels like they are working against us when they're really just trying to deal with our weird behavior. There can be financial upsets or sudden changes, losses, gains with Uranus and Taurus. There can be food addictions coming up, the way we spend our money, our sense of security, our possessiveness. All of these things can come into the light. And then Saturn will be in Aquarius as of December 2020 and will be here until 2023 in the 9th house. And this is really a period of really getting to know yourself and learning and expanding your understanding and your wisdom and view of the world, and where you really want to go with your life. And reaping the rewards as Saturn climaxes to eventually move into your 10th house to reap the awards of what you're learning now, where this can bear fruit in regards to your ambition. And it's important to guard against thinking that you've figured it all out, or that you know it all and you've got it all sorted out, and you judge other people and all of this. Stay open to learn, stay open to grow in wisdom. Don't push your views onto other people, and just stay humble and kind, and realize that it is impossible for us to know it all. We are always on a constant journey of learning and searching. And with Saturn here, there can sometimes be blocks in regards to learning, or frustrations in regards to our future visions, or even blocks in regards to our faith or our belief systems in some kind. There can also be travel for obligations with this transit, or going to faraway places in order to study. Sometimes legal issues can pop up with this transit. Sometimes you do not realize who you are until Saturn hits this house, for some people. This can also indicate integration or separation from certain groups. And this can sometimes also indicate unconventional study topics and belief systems in regards to life and philosophy and esoteric studies. This can also sometimes bring in fear of travel, or fear of foreigners, or fear of things and people and places that are different from you as well. Or separation from others by being in a faraway place, or experiencing loneliness or sadness in the way that you see the world, and experiencing maybe some type of legal or authoritative action because of the way that you believe or see the world at this time. In some cases, you can become more serious about your beliefs and take things to another level with Saturn here. And then Jupiter will be in Pisces in your 10th house until the 10th of May, where it will ingress Aries in your 11th house. And Jupiter will retrograde on the 28th of July and make its way back into Pisces on October 28th, where it will station direct in November and re-enter Aries on the 20th of December 2022. So it'll be approximately in Pisces for 6 months and the rest of the time in Aries. And while in Pisces, it'll be in your 10th house. Your attention is more focused usually on your career, your life direction, your reputation and status, and wanting to grow this and expand. There can be considerable progress, and it's possible that you're really willing to put in the hard work to move things forward. You can also have a lot of opportunities now, and blessings and help from people in higher places. Be very careful of being domineering or having an overinflated ego with Jupiter here, especially in regards to superiors, as this can cause trouble for most. This transit can bring in some kind of recognition for work well done, like some kind of certification or some kind of reward. You can learn much about yourself at this time. You can gain promotions, pay raises. You can enjoy your work a lot more, and what you're capable of is more apparent now. Jupiter here can in some cases involve travel for work, foreign matters, foreign people different from you, foreign places, higher learning, imports and exports, the law, truth itself, justice and growth. And then Jupiter will also be in Aries, your 11th house. And while Jupiter is in your 11th house of Aries, you're much more aware of the importance of group values. Friendships are beneficial during this time, and your hopes and dreams for the future are much more of an importance now. You really want to grow and expand here. You may learn much from others, and it's good to work with others if possible and not go at things alone. But your interest is geared toward more broad social reform at this time. So your hopes and dreams and goals are more important. You can make new friends, maybe that are different from you, or foreign connections, or people that are some kind of benefactor to you. You may want to improve the world at large, and this is not a time to be selfish. In some cases, this can bring death in the family. For some, that is more of some kind of a relief of some sort for you. And then Mars will be in Sagittarius as we start out the year and ingress into Capricorn on the 24th of January. And this is a very important house for you to watch going forward. This is the house where Venus will retrograde. This is where Mars, Pluto, and Venus join up on the 3rd of March. This is a very unusual retrograde for Venus here. And Venus will also be the ruler of the North Node starting in January of Taurus, and Mars of the South Node in Scorpio. So these are destiny points and important factors that we will be dealing with going forward. Unfortunately, there is too much for me to go over with so much going on. So I'm just going to focus on the main aspects here for this general forecast. But as all these things unfold going forward with the astrology in 2022, we will be going over it sort of step by step as the energies unfold. Now, Mars in Capricorn in your 8th house here. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. It increases the worldly ambition to achieve. It is well organized, more regulated action is here, and there's more practical results with Mars here. Mars here can sometimes produce a prudish sex drive, except in this house that could be a different story. It could be more intense, a more need for it. There can be, in some cases, death of friends, a loss of friends, gifts or legacies from friends, inheritances, illness of yourself or a friend, a pet, an employee, the loss of a pet, sometimes financial rewards for faithful service can come up with these transits. And of course, this is unique for every person. I tend to say a lot of negative things as well, but be aware that this is just in order to prepare you for whatever could possibly happen. There are many ways that these transits can manifest, and other things also need to support them for some of these things to occur. But I'm mentioning things that are possible with some of these placements. Experience of some transformation of some kind is possible with Mars here, by an event or a person that has a very powerful effect on you or over you. There can be conflicts in regards to shared resources, values, financials, possessions, properties, debts, even intimacy, business agreements, business shared resources. This is a good time to work on evaluation of these topics in order to change or modify if needed, like how are these things balanced or not. Arguments about money foolishly spent can occur now, so be more cautious in spending, investing, and so forth. This is not great for obtaining loans. There is a need here for deeply transforming sexual intimacy usually, and as a form of expression. Just remember also that with Mars here, something seems to have to be let go of. Something is dying in order for a rebirth to occur. So this can be an aspect of yourself that's changing permanently, or maybe you're changing a financial habit or an agreement, or you're filing for divorce, or you are ending your bad habit of spending money on things that are frivolous, and you are now paying off your debt, or you are, there's a permanent change that can occur with Mars here, that is connected to something much deeper, much more powerful, and there can be powerful healing taking place here, triggers in traumatic events that come up for you in order to heal wounds from the past. But there's a rebirth here, and new possibilities in transforming your life at this time. And then Mars will also conjunct Pluto on the 3rd of March in the 8th house at 27 degrees, near the 28th degree of exaltation for Mars in Capricorn. And during this time, it can be more a time where we are tempted to take control of whatever is happening around us, whether that's shared resources, intimacy, our finances, other people's money. So this transit really stimulates ambition and can be violent and disruptive at times. So you can be at the giving or receiving end of this. It can bring a ruthless energy, ego conflicts, power games, also issues in regards to the government, others at work, politics. It's important to avoid dangerous people, situations, scam type of issues, or just scaly people in general. It's very good energy for doing very hard work or heavy amounts of work. You'll have the gutso to get through it. You can possibly gain power with this transit, so make sure you're not abusing your power or using it in selfish ways, because that'll be destructive ultimately. This can sometimes be death or accidents affecting a parent or a mother, or there can be women in government coming up in the news here. There can also be more business or issues related to death or inheritances, or rises in power and higher positions. You're more accident prone during this time as well. And then Mars will enter Aquarius on the 6th of March in the 9th house. And this will also trigger the Saturn-Uranus square we've had most of 2021 and have into 2022, with past versus the future, old versus the new, restriction versus freedom. And you've mainly had this in, most likely definitely experienced this to a degree in your 12th and 9th houses of isolation and higher learning, your vision of the future, faraway places, immigration and isolation, immigration paperwork, separation, hospitals, jails, maybe depression and courts, court systems, lawsuits, addictions, self-sabotage, beliefs in religion, illness and faith, in-laws, a father figure, and subconscious survival patterns from the past, secret enemies, wanting to go away but having issues in regards to that. Secret sadness, love affairs, and belief systems, and so forth. Topics of 12th and 9th house issues, self-sabotage and addictive personality, coping mechanisms, psychological health, and religion, higher learning, faraway places, in-laws, your second marriage, and so forth. And then with Mars and Aquarius here, there's a flair for the innovative or doing things in an original, unique way. Mars here wants freedom in action. It's more sexually cool in this energy. It's more unemotional. And there can be gain through long journeys, friendships, travel, learning, friends among the religious, the writers, teachers, travelers, and inventors. There can be sickness abroad in some cases. There can be illness in regards to wife's relatives, travel in regards to work or illness. There can be danger through overstudying. There can be work connecting to foreign affairs, universities, imports and exports, creative intellectual work, and so forth. But you really want to defend your beliefs and expand your worldview. It's important to not shove this down other people's throats. You can also experience legal difficulties or legal things coming up at this time, so be aware of that. Be aware of aggression and accidents overseas. This is not a great time to travel, so do see an astrologer to look at your personal chart if you are going to travel during this time. And then on the 4th and 5th of April, Mars will also conjunct Saturn around 22 degrees of Aquarius. And during this time, this transit can be difficult for some people, or irritating or frustrating. It's important to not do anything risky during this time. You may experience less energy. You can feel angry but have to repress that and not be able to express it properly, most likely. You would be wise to do some physical working out to get rid of the stress and anxiety. It's great for working on something that requires heavy concentration or careful technique if you need to. But be cautious with machinery, cutting tools, weapons, steel and iron, and so forth. But this can be a great trigger energy, as Mars will also be squaring Uranus. In order to break free from a limitation or something that's been holding you back or holding you sort of smothering you for a while now that you've been trying to get out of, and it's just not worked. It's like this can be the final straw on the camel's back that makes you want to just cut things or change it up. So there can be a very rebellious energy and impulsivity here, but you can meet up with authority figures here, so be careful of how you channel your energy. You can be questioning whether you can be yourself in this area. You can be more easily angered and aggressive. So it's important to start creating changes in these areas and making adjustments and becoming more flexible and less rigid in this area before the universe changes things for you and it becomes painful and uncomfortable and too abrupt. You want to start making changes here yourself, doing things out of the box, thinking out of the box, finding new solutions, being innovative, or making the cut yourself. There is a more accident-prone energy here. And remember as well that new challenges require new solutions. And then we also have Mars in Pisces as of the 15th of April in your 10th house. And this happens just after Jupiter and Neptune conjuncts on the 12th of April here. And this can be a period where you feel a bit more of a lack of self-motivation and confidence. Mars in Pisces functions best under clear direction and in more of a quiet atmosphere for it to be productive. So you might also find that this is what you need at this time to be very clear in your direction and your communication with others, especially in regards to your job. Sometimes there can also be some confusion or fogginess with Mars here. But there will be more of an affectionate and romantic energy in regards to love. Friendships with those in high positions can appear here. A mother or a wife's father can come up as topics, injuries or illness of self or others. This is probably a time where you'd rather want to work by yourself if possible, because this can be a transit where you are a bit more selfish, or it's harder for you to take guidance from others or be told what to do. So it can be better to work on a project by yourself. But this is a wonderful energy to really work on something that you're very passionate about. You can get a lot done. You're most likely more busier at this time. There's more competition at work. But you can also be feeling like you really want to work for yourself, or you want to kind of break out and be your own boss. So there can be challenges here also with bosses, parents, authority figures, co-workers, like conflicts that can happen here. So it's important also to remain conscious of what others are doing and their efforts, and to avoid conflicts, or all of your hard effort and hard work can actually go to waste, and that is just not okay. But you can get a lot achieved during this time. You'll have a lot more to do. And then Mars will also conjunct Neptune on the 17th of May at 24 degrees of Pisces in your 10th house. And this can sometimes denote strange feelings, irritability, discouragement. Sometimes you can feel like you're unable to do certain things, so you might feel a bit inferior or useless at work, or in your life direction in general, or even in a committed relationship, or in regards to responsibilities. And so you want to also watch for action based on delusions or being taken for a ride. You want to avoid unhealthy escapism habits, self-sabotage like alcohol or drugs. You don't want to start anything new with this transit. You don't want to start a new job or a new project. You want to rather just wait for the fog to clear. But it is a great time for serving others, or volunteering time at a hospital, or being of service to others, as long as your intentions are pure. You want to rest and not push your body too hard, because your energy can be lower with Mars and Neptune together here. And you can even experience a lower sex drive, but you'll be more romantically inclined and spiritually inclined. And you might want to incorporate music more, and poetry, and art, and film, and so forth during this time. And then Mars will ingress Aries on the 24th of May in your 11th house. And Mars is dignified in Aries. It likes direct and immediate action. It's more impulsive, but it's a doer. It's aggressive. It goes after what it wants. It's got courage and energy. It's brave and competitive, and it knows what it wants. And this is your house of the future, your hopes and wishes, where you want to go. So you also want to recognize that Mars and Aries can bring haste, which can cause accidents, injuries, and it can also sometimes cause you to finish projects that you don't, start projects that you don't finish. So be aware of that as well. It can also improve your sex drive and your energy levels. So after feeling quite down and out, you can feel a lot more invigorated during this time. But this is an active time of formulating and pursuing goals usually. Teamwork can be required here, but you might find it harder to do that with Mars here, as Mars can want to work and do its own thing in its own way. But this is really a transit that is pushing you in order to balance aspects of your own needs versus others, your own interests versus others. So this is good for you, but it could bring difficulties between friends and co-workers, groups and alliances, political groups, affiliations, causes. This can also sometimes bring accidents in regards to a friend, new friends, separations from friends. It's great for group sport though, and unique ideas and solutions and innovation. It's great for fighting for rights and freedoms, or joining a party, or separating from alliances that no longer are in your vibration, and so forth. And then Mars will also conjunct Jupiter on the 29th of May at 3 degrees of Aries. Let me just quickly take a sip here. And Mars conjunct Jupiter can really also greatly improve your energy and physical activity and confidence. So you're feeling better now. Things are picking up. You're feeling better about yourself. But you want to be aware of being overconfident, because this can also lead to accidents and humiliation. Sometimes this combination can ask you to be cautious during speculation and spending. But this can also be a lucky transit, so there can be a lot of blessings coming your way. And this is also a great transit for muscle building, for strength, for getting bigger as a bodybuilder. This can make things like childbirth easier as well. And then this can also bring in more connections with foreigners, travel in regards to friends. This can also bring in connections with foreign languages, benefactors of some kind, people in high places, foreign affairs, foreign legislation or certification of some kind as well. And then Mars will also square Pluto retrograde in Capricorn at 27 degrees Aries here, while it's in Aries. And so while Mars is squaring Capricorn, we can experience more power struggles. We can feel like we really want to make headway in this area. We can experience more high energy or some kind of opposition or friction from others, which may force us to take a different course of action than we originally planned. But we can also be tripped up by loose ends if we don't pay attention to the details. Slow down and take it step by step. We want to resist cruelty, ruthless anger, or energy, being underhanded, using shortcuts, as this can be leading to destruction at some point. Whether you're on the receiving end or the giving end of this, any deceptive actions will be more prevalent to show around the January 2023 transit of Mars in Cancer. And this can also indicate sometimes either needing to fight or to give up in regards to opposition between you and someone else, or you and another group, and so forth. But overall, you want to avoid dangerous people, situations, places, and so forth. And then we also have Mars entering Taurus in your 12th house on the 5th of July. And Mars here is in detriment, but so it can be slow to start things, slower in initiative, but it boosts practical direction and determination. It can be very much geared towards purposeful action. And work focus can be more geared towards monetary gains. You could feel like you want to start something here. There can be, with Mars and Taurus, there's more of a liking towards working towards money or earth materials, gardening, growing, self-sustaining, working on your own security. There can also be a more need for comfort during this time, wanting to go on a holiday, wanting to be more sensual, and maybe going for a massage. There's more basic approaches to sex with Mars and Taurus. And sometimes this can indicate deceitful friends or friends that are dealing with sadness with this 12th house placement as well. There can be pleasure in peaceful places. There can be imprisonment or secret enemies through employees as well, or animals, or methods of healing can come up for topics here. There can be sickness and hospitalization during this time that you're connected to somehow, or maybe you are spending time working or volunteering in areas like this. There is a more stronger psychic ability here with the 12th house placement, which can also, with Mars here, giving you strength and making your enemies more powerless. There's opportunity to grow here, to heal psychological, patterns from the past that no longer serve you, emotional wounds. There's spiritual levels that you can enter here. You can work on issues from the past. There can be sleep pattern disruptions with Mars here. You could feel like you have more aggressive dreams, or you can't sleep, or you want to work out at night or work more at night. Sometimes this can be a difficult transit in the sense that you feel like you're working by yourself. Nobody sees your hard work. You're not getting recognized, or you're too much in the background, or you're physically actually working in the background, or working in a faraway place, secluded. There can be self-denial here, irritability, low self-confidence. There can be self-sabotage behaviors here. Sometimes you can do yourself in with a position at work because you can come across the wrong way because of subconscious behavior patterns. So it's important to confront yourself during this time and not others, and to work on these issues within yourself. And this is a great time to go for counseling, or to go on a retreat, or to meditate and spend time on some self-care and healing. This can sometimes indicate periods of time in hospitalized settings, or prisons, or seclusion, or holidays, or retreats, or faraway places, and so forth. Sometimes you can feel like you have secret enemies with Mars here, or you're being spiritually attacked in some way. But sometimes your secret enemies can just be people that sort of try and work around your behavior patterns that are sort of controlling you without you realizing it. And it feels like they're against you because of this. So it's important for you to recognize what's coming up at this time in order for you to purge and heal what's being triggered here. And then Mars will also conjunct Uranus in your 12th house, conjoining the North Node at a crisis point of 18 degrees Taurus on the 1st of August. And joining Uranus, Mars here can bring sudden upsets, disruptions, surprises, financial losses or gains, volatility financially, sudden surprises in regards to the past, or hidden information. This can be plans being redirected. There can be huge energy bursts. You can feel like breaking free from limitations in some area of your life, breaking free from seclusion or depression, self-sabotaging behavior. There can be more rebellious tendencies here. Accidents can be self-inflicted, so be aware of, getting lost in sadness or depression. If you need to talk to people, do that now. Don't cut yourself. Don't try and, do any self-harm. This is very important to talk to others when you are feeling that you need this. Avoid driving fast or working with machinery or tools or weapons or anything that could harm you, especially if angry. This is a great energy, though, for working on a creative project, music, art, learning how to play the guitar, learning how to sing, taking voice lessons, being innovative, working out, channeling your energy, doing yoga, doing martial arts. This is a great time to assert your individuality. And then Mercury will retrograde from air to earth signs this year, from Aquarius to Capricorn. It will do Gemini to Taurus and Libra to Virgo. Now, with its retrograde, with Mercury retrograde, we obviously have the common Mercury topics such as mental activity, anxiety, changing your mind, common topics of misunderstandings, transportation and communication issues, mistakes, loss of passwords, loss and damage to electronics, saved work, email errors, retesting, redoing, reevaluating, changing things, reversals, people from the past coming back, bank errors, card errors, electricity and internet outages or interruptions, car malfunctions, pipes that burst, mechanical faulting, wrong numbers, rerouted traffic, accidents, and so forth. So it's important to not buy new electronics during a Mercury retrograde, or signing contracts that are not changeable, buying airline tickets that are not refundable, or starting new things. You want to wait. You want to rather review things, adjust, look at the details, plan and prep, do the admin, do the schedules, do the planning, that kind of thing. Mercury will retrograde from 10 degrees of Aquarius to the 24th degree of Capricorn for 21 days from January 14th until the 4th of February. Now, the topics included will be friends and alliances, groups, politics, co-workers, peoples and organizations, showing their true colors during this time. Your future hopes, wishes, and goals can be affected. Markets and supply lines, social life, freedom and individuality, our rights, the collective, legislation, radio frequencies, governmental changes, AI, electronics, and the internet can all come up for topics for review. There can also be review of and imbalances in regards to career, property, commitments, hard work, suffering, sadness, depression, separation, serious responsibilities, and also topics regarding teeth, minerals, calcium, and bones. Now, for you, Gemini Rising, this can also come up in your 8th and 9th house, and you can also be dealing with the following topics and the normal Mercury retrograde type of scenarios in regards to health, mental and physical, appearance, things you want to start, your home and family, commuting to work, your vehicle, your faith, your beliefs, your immigration work, your paperwork, higher education, publishing, foreign affairs, travel plans, father figure, in-laws, your second marriage or spouse, grandchildren, dreams, others' opinions, religion, surgeons, tax collectors, wills, other people's money, shared finances, agreements, intimacy, sex, past traumatic memories, affairs of the dead, inheritance, debts, and affairs regarding your spouse, and shared resources. And then Mercury will also retrograde from the 4th degree of Gemini to the 26th degree of Taurus from May 10th to the 3rd of June for 24 days. And the general Mercury retrograde topics would apply during this time, as well as, let's add, brutally honest people poking their noses where they shouldn't, gossip, flights being delayed, schedule changes, plans rerouted. So it's best to plan, rethink, double check, use direct communication, proofread. There can be more chaos financially in the world in regards to banking, markets, agriculture, values, skills, how we make money, our self-worth, our talents, and so forth, our confidence. Now, it's important to be cautious and rethink your spending, your investments, not having all of your eggs in one basket, staying flexible so you can easily go with changes and sudden abrupt surprises or turnarounds and events that can occur during this time. Now, this Mercury retrograde can affect your 1st, 4th, and 12th houses quite intensely, which is your sense of self, your perspective on life, what you want to start, people coming into your life, your look, your health, your home, family, your relatives, your past, your actual property and house, your roots, your foundation, your parents. And this can also deal with losses. This can deal with faraway places, self-sabotage. It can deal with past behavior patterns subconsciously, secret enemies, love affairs, and depression and memories from the past. And then we also have Mercury retrograding from Libra 8 degrees to 24 degrees of Virgo on September 10th to the 2nd of October for 22 days. And this, can bring up issues of imbalance in regards to Libran and Virgo ruled topics such as grace, charm, diplomacy, collaborations, contracts and agreements, relationships in love and business, the law, justice, fairness, equality. These things, peace, harmony, can all be off balance at this time. Also, public health issues, COVID issues can come up for review, employment, work, our mental and physical health. And then also we could be rethinking our health structures, how we heal ourselves, natural medicine, our style, our looks, our finances, our values, manipulation. All these things can come up for review. And this could really be felt again in your 1st and 4th houses, as I've mentioned, of self and home, perspectives, looks, me versus them. And then also your 5th house of children, of fun, of self-created, self-employment, self-made projects, speculation, your freedom, what you do in your free time, spending time doing things that make you feel alive, and so forth. So this can also be in communication with kids as well, can be affected here with that retrograde. And then let's have a look at Venus retrograde from the 19th of December until the 29th of January 2022. And so we will start the year with Venus retrograde conjunct Pluto. And like I've mentioned, this Capricorn house is quite important for you. Now, Venus retrogrades bring in issues of love, money, values, beauty, pleasure, sweet things, comfort, self-worth, confidence. All of these things come in for review. Business relationships, love relationships, what we need in relationships, what is balanced and not balanced, and where is this going and is it going to last? Now, we can experience unexpected expenses, laziness in this area, a more focus on comfort and style. We can see a lot more issues regarding style and expensive art in the news. Old relationships can return, or issues regarding it, or money-related issues from the past, returns that needs to be done, bills that weren't paid, or so on. This is not a great time to start new relationships or to take relationships to the next level. This is a very Venus and Capricorn thing, sort of getting married, getting it to a more serious place. But while Venus is retrograde, no, wait. Don't make big investments, don't make big purchases, you can regret them. Issues in regards to self-worth can come up. Don't do any beauty procedures as you might regret it. Just don't do anything Venus inclined that you could regret or that you can't change. Don't sign any agreements. So postpone, plan, reevaluate, check the balance of things in this area. Venus here is very sophisticated. She knows what she wants. And Venus here is about slow love in Capricorn. It's less emotional. It's money for love and love for money. It's business marriages. It's mercenary intentions that can come up. It's old money. It's age differences in love. It's love separated. It's mature, occupied, unavailable, restricted, forbidden love. It's love at work. It's decorating your workplace. It's maturing your office outfit and looking more, sophisticated. People take you more seriously. There can be issues regarding jealousy, manipulation, obsession, power struggles, and possessiveness with this type of placements. There can be a reality check with Venus here in regarding love and money. And like I said, with Venus and Capricorn, there's a need to take things to the next level or to completely end things. There is supported love and money, and mourning of love in some cases. There can be power moves in regards to buying property, banking, currencies, money values, etc. with these energies taking place. In general, I wasn't actually going to go over all of that, but I got carried away. And then this can affect you in your 8th house of Capricorn. So this is a time where you do not want to go for surgeries. You do not want to make new investments or make big purchases. You do not want to sign agreements. You want to be careful in dealing with shared resources or business agreements in regards to money especially. You do want to pay off debt if possible. You can experience a harder time with others in regards to shared resources, debts, taxes, inheritances, or investments. You can be more selfish. This can be a time where you don't want to do the research on something or investigate it properly, and this can bring issues. So do the investigation. There can be a lack of passion during this time or a weak will. You can be more resistant to change. So just be aware of these issues. And then Mars will retrograde from 25 degrees Gemini to 8 degrees of Gemini from 30 October until the 12th of January 2023. And this will be for 63 days. And Mars will also be in mutual reception with Mercury and Scorpio. So your Scorpio and Mercury houses are kind of work like hand in hand in a way. And remember that Mars is our willpower. It's our drive. It's our brave planet. It's our action planet. It's our passion. And when Mars is retrograde, especially here, we can be a bit less assertive. We can lack energy. We can be more verbally attacking or being more, we can see more debates happening. We can be more mentally moved and active in our brains and physically moving in our neighborhoods. We can deal with a lot of information coming in or with the media, internal mind searches. We can have technical difficulties here, mechanical faults. Very Mercury retrograde themes with Mars retrograde in Gemini. So very similar type of stuff. You also want to be aware that there can be more accidents during this time, arguments, cities can be in chaos, there can be car and transportation issues, car explosions, things like that, cars malfunctioning, machinery malfunctioning, issues in regards to travel and commute. It's important to sort of rather finish already started projects and be mindful of our anger and frustration and not start anything brand new, but rather repair, redo, fix things, renovate things, exercise to release excess energy. Be proactive while you're waiting, build the website, strategize, get the admin out of the way, make the phone calls, use direct communication, and just kind of get the extras out of the way. But with Mars here retrograde, we might have more blockages and not get as much done as we would normally like to. But it can be helpful in slowing us down and reflecting on our desires and rethinking and analyzing what upsets us and why and where it's coming from. It's good to take ideas and note them during this time because we might have bright ideas. We could be rethinking our driving, our commuting, our neighborhood, where we live, how we trade, our connections with relatives. We can also be rethinking our friendships and our way of communication. We can deal with sharp tongues at this time and be very busy and impulsive, with appointments all over the show. So it's important also to be aware that we can be more accident prone to injuries during this time. So be careful with arms and hands and joints dislocating and lungs being more sensitive to anxiety, inflammation, asthma, and pulling muscles during this time. Your mind can be more fragile but sharp. You can get in trouble for what you say, even if you're joking. Gossip, rumor, and business schemes and fraudulent activity can be more on the daily. And we can be more fighting with our words during this time. Or freedom of speech and movement come up for review. Erotic fantasies, dirty talk, brain activity. We can be more curious. We can be more active in our neighborhood, or there can be more action in all ways in our neighborhood. And we can be more inclined to fight for our opinions and beliefs. And for you, this is in your first house and will also be affecting your sixth house in mutual reception. So you can deal with hot tempers, fighting with others. You can be more accident prone. You want to watch your vehicle condition. Take it for, its grooming. You can deal with injuries and illness. So you want to be being really careful with your health. You can be more impulsive. You want to take care of not using weapons or anything that could harm you, especially if you're angry or if there's an accident of some kind. And this goes hand in hand with your sixth house of work and health. So again, your physical health is in real highlighted here for you. So you want to, your health and accidents, you want to watch out for here. Don't be impulsive. Think things through. Don't do stupid things. And then Jupiter will retrograde from the 28th of July until the 23rd of November for 118 days. And Jupiter will be retrograding from the 8th degree of Aries until the 28th degree of Pisces. And during this time, with Jupiter retrograde in Aries and Jupiter in Aries, we can probably expect new leadership taking place in some way. But the topics for review will be the areas and the things that we want to start or take further or grow in some way and expand. But on a negative side, we can be overconfident, over-optimistic, arrogant, and selfish, and more accident-prone during this time. We can also promise more and deliver and not deliver what we promised. We can make big mistakes or big gains with Jupiter here. So be careful and think things through, and don't be impulsive. Don't think you know it all. There can be liver issues coming up at this time, so watch your alcohol intake. What spiritual lessons are you learning at this time? What are you here to learn? Where can you be less about yourself and more about others? There can be opportunities here now to create your own luck. You want to watch your anger flare-ups and impulsiveness, mechanical issues, driving too fast, fire issues. You might want to ask yourself what's happening that you need to learn from, or who do you need to learn from, or are you that for someone else? What is your truth? This is about personal growth. And when Jupiter is in Pisces retrograde, we can also be reviewing visions, ideals, beliefs. We can feel more compassionate towards others, with an emphasis on the meaning of life itself, the fact that we are spiritual beings, our innermost authentic selves, our deeper values, our morals, our integrity and beliefs are coming up for review here, or events will bring these up for review. We turn more spiritually inwards, and we are more connected to each other and aware of our similarities instead of our separative qualities as humans on this planet. And we can also see more news articles about new music, celebrity, movies, glamour, and so forth. And for Jupiter retrograde for you, Gemini Rising, this can also, like I said, give you opportunities to create your own luck in regards to future goals. You can have expansion here. You have a tendency to want to make things fair for the collective. You want to help others, usually with this energy. You may want to join a political party or some kind of cause, or teach or write or demonstrate or take to the streets for some cause with this energy. In some cases, you can be rethinking your direction in life, wanting to change what you do, asking yourself, what is your true calling? You may want to retrain for something. And you're not only necessarily interested in the money anymore, but more about the meaning and so forth. But you also want to watch arrogance with Jupiter in the 10th house, especially in regards to conflicts with superiors during this time. But you can also have happenings there with being rewarded for work well done. And then Saturn will retrograde on the 4th of June till the 23rd of October, from 25 degrees Aquarius until the 18th degree of Aquarius for 141 days. And with Saturn retrograde, we review committed and serious relationships, our reality, our life goals, our foundations, our directions, what makes us feel solid and safe, our responsibilities and duties gets reviewed. We need to rebalance certain aspects, review our structures, how we manifest our reality, limitations that we're facing. Saturn reminds us of the aspects of life we cannot avoid, such as rules, responsibilities, length of life, skin color, taxes, restrictions, commitments, time itself. And the areas that Saturn affects will come up for review in regards to restructuring, experience some delays most likely, frustration, separation, complications, sometimes endings, sometimes loneliness or sadness, hardship, poverty in some cases, or a lack in some way, a lack of joy, very serious topics or serious thoughts. And for you, this can be a time where you're questioning your own beliefs. It's a time of restructuring your beliefs, previous programmed belief systems, prejudices from the past. You might be disciplining yourself more during this time. Are you living according to your beliefs might come up for you at this time. Your allegiance to groups could be tested, and you could be either joining a group or cutting ties. Your habits and traditions can come up for review. You can be experiencing guilt or inadequacy of some kind with this transit. You can have questions in regards to what you've studied, if this is really still what you want to pursue, or redoing tests at this time. You can have travel disruptions or loss during travel, or serious things happening, or serious concerns, or a blockage spiritually somehow with Saturn here. You can deal with legislation in regards to travel and faraway places. In some cases, and basically this is a transit about finding your sacred purpose and asking the right questions, whether you're still on the right path or not. Where are you going? And what are you searching for? And then we have the nodal axis, which guides our moon's ecliptic path and determine the eclipse placements, moving into fixed sign polarity on the 19th of January 2022, with the north node in Taurus ruled by Venus and the south node in Scorpio ruled by Mars. Now, eclipses are fated events that occur that moves us into directions we maybe didn't see coming. It can be reversals. It can be sudden different directions of our lives. It can be truths revealed, total transformations, unexpected events that catapult us into directions we are supposed to be in. This can be uncomfortable, painful, and exciting for some. It's different for everyone, but regardless, this is for your own best good. So remind yourself of these things. This is a time where the veil is thin and we can get a lot of communication with the divine. We also can have longer effects, and with eclipses, they usually have about a 6-month time period for them to kind of fulfill themselves, but this is not always the case, as there are many cycles to be considering, so I don't really like saying that to people, but that is kind of the general kind of time period that we're looking at here. Now, this is the axis of finances. This is about stubborn, determined, all or nothing energy. This is more extreme. And it is an energy that is moving us towards letting go of old toxic relationships, situations, things that are not good for us anymore, and becoming more streamlined, becoming more survival oriented, minimalistic, healing our wounds, living in forgiveness, starting to share our resources, share our skills with each other, self-sustaining, moving towards earth consciousness, organic food. Where's our food coming from? Getting back to basics, purifying our own water, securing our own security. This is about necessary and unnecessary, boundaries and freedom. Where can we simplify? Where can we become more manageable? Where can we let go and recycle and reuse and repurpose? Where can we minimize and detox? What do we really need? What is the nutrients in this product? Where can we release unnecessary clutter and structures? This is the mind versus your axis, the obsession, power, jealousy, control, manipulation, abuse of power, bullying, and stubbornness axis. This is the breaking point for some people axis. This is agriculture, land, equalities, fairness, wounding, secrets, sex, scandals, and abuse of power. We can see scandals, sex trafficking, things like this coming out and being revealed during the next 18 months. We can see new currencies appear, financial systems going into changes and crises, and electronic money coming up for topics here. Energy, medicine, food, communities, sharing, living your fully authentic self now, living fearless, letting go of fear, standing your ground, living in your purpose, all or nothing, and being brave enough to stand up for what you believe in and how you want to live and pursue your life, and standing up for your rights as a human being. Living with a cause, living with a purpose. That's what this is about. And with the eclipses here, I'll also then come to the point where Uranus conjuncts the North Node as well, at 18 degrees in your 12th house. And this can also bring about the desire to help people in crisis, being a spiritual guide or mentor to someone, or dealing with people in hospitals or that have been separated or that are in isolation, or volunteering, or spending yourself time in isolation, but getting some serious spiritual downloads. And letting go of toxicity, bad health habits, self-sabotaging habits, rearranging priorities and responsibilities. Very important. And then you will have eclipses on the 30th of April. There will be an eclipse in Taurus in your 12th house at a solar eclipse. And solar eclipses are more about new beginnings, fresh starts, turning a new leaf, or planting a new seed of intention or new beginnings in that area. And in your in Taurus, your 12th house, this can be that there can be sudden things being brought to your attention that gives you a boost to a new beginning of some kind. There can be new healthy habits that you are starting in regards to your mental health. There could be a new counseling session that you could be starting. You could start a long trip far away or working in a faraway place. In some cases, this can be a new beginning on how you see the spiritual world, a new belief, new faith in the divine and in the universe, new boundaries that you've decided to put up in order to protect yourself. This can be the beginning of healing. This can be the beginning of a holiday or some retreat center, or maybe this is the beginning of jail time for you in a negative sense, or maybe you're entering a mental hospital after the year you've had. This is not a laughing matter, but yes, this can all indicate new beginnings in these areas of our lives. And then on the 16th of May, there will be a lunar eclipse in Scorpio in your 6th house. And lunar eclipses are about culminations, fruitions, things coming to a fullness or coming to a ripeness or to a harvest in some sense. And in your 6th house, this can be a work scenario coming to a fruition. Maybe you are finishing a job, or you are finishing some kind of responsibility and coming to the end of it. Maybe you're finishing a work project and that's almost ready to be revealed. This can be also finishing up a workout routine before starting a new one, or finishing up bad habits, finishing certain responsibilities and schedules in your day, your work environment. Maybe you are finishing a certain position at work. This can also be an illness that's finishing up, or some kind of treatment. Maybe you're done chemo, or there's an ending in regards to a treatment, in regards to a certain physician, a certain routine that you no longer are doing anymore. Maybe you don't have to take your kid to ballet every Wednesday, and so forth. And then on the 25th of October, there will be a solar eclipse in the same house, Scorpio the 6th, which is your health house, your work house, your worry house. So you might have new responsibilities in this area, or changes in regards to your work, a new job, a new position, a new schedule, a new worry, or maybe a fresh start with less worries. Maybe you have a new health routine, or you are now cutting meat. You have a new way of looking at your daily structuring of your life, and so forth. So that can be quite exciting. Turning a new leaf. Maybe you're quitting smoking. And on the 8th of November, you will have a lunar eclipse in Taurus in your 12th house. And this again is a ending, culmination, fruition, completion of some kind in your 12th house. And so you might be again finishing up some kind of bad habit, a bad self-sabotaging habit, maybe drinking too much, or spending too much money foolishly, or feeling like a victim, and you are finishing with these bad behaviors. Or maybe you're finishing a treatment session, a psychological treatment session. Maybe you are done and you're being released from hospital now. You're finished some kind of surgery there, or a prison term, and you're completing this. Or maybe you are finishing a holiday, or a period where you've been working far away or overseas or in a faraway place, or a period of separation has ended. Or maybe you're coming out of depression and you have a new lease on life and getting a new perspective on how you want to move forward with your life, especially once Uranus transits into your 1st house, where you're in for a complete makeover. So there's lots to look forward here for you. Well, Gemini Rising, thank you for allowing me to guide you through 2022's general astrology potentials. You are going through a lot of spiritual deepening and purifying of the body, mind, and soul this year. And you can do this, Gemini. You have what it takes. Stay flexible, stay adaptable, stay positive, and stay young. And you are going to have a wonderful year. Remember, there can't be any good without the bad. There's always a little bit of all of that. The changes and disruptions we'll be experiencing this year and going forward is for your own good. Remember that things are happening for you and not against you, and that what is for you cannot pass you by. May God bless you and keep you. Remember that there's also my general astrology potentials for 2022 collectively video that I'll also be releasing that you can check out. May the sun shine bright on you this day and this year going forward. May there be more blessings coming your way. Until next time.